G'day guys, my name is Danny Bird and welcome to my channel. If you're a new viewer, welcome. I hope you consider subscribing. If you're a returning viewer guys, welcome back, and hopefully some of my previous videos are helping your golf game improve. If you're struggling with your chipping and you'd like to be able to do what I just did there, guys, this video is going to be of great help. We're going to be tackling a major issue that I see when it comes to players struggling with their chipping. Super simple to fix, and we will get that happening for you, and we'll get your chipping better around the green. What are you waiting for? Let's get into it. Lots of players struggle with their chipping, and often it comes down to a really simple fault, and today we're going to be discussing that. Okay, so there's generally a fair misconception when it comes to greenside chipping. I've chosen greenside today because it's a spot where we feel like we definitely should get the ball up and down. Lots of players struggle to, and the closer to the green we get and the more loft we have, the more the players struggle. So I've used a 56-degree wedge today. We're going to put ourselves right close to the edge of the green, and we're going to be looking at our setup. Now, if we can get our setup correct, we can hit good chip shots, and more often than not, poor setup results in poor chip shots. So I'm going to start off looking at the stance. Now, having the appropriate stance width is crucial to being able to chip well. And the reason why that is, if we get our stance too narrow when we're chipping, we're going to find that our body is going to be moving around too much, especially our upper body. Okay, we're going to find it tilting to and from the target line, which means we have a very small area in which to get that club down to the golf ball to make decent quality contact. And unfortunately, more often than not, we'll see players narrow, fall towards target. As they work the club down to rebalance, they fall back and end up catching the ground a little bit too early. So to avoid that, we're going to see the hands pulling up and away from the ground, pulling the club head up, using our wrist, flicking at the golf ball, trying to get some loft on it, and we hit it poorly. Or worse than that is that with the narrow stance here, the player falls towards target, they keep their weight there, and now they're dragging their hands in order to try to maneuver that club back to the golf ball. We now get our hands working too far ahead. We are increasing our attack angle, steepening that too much, and we end up getting the club either digging in behind the golf ball, we extend the arms down last minute, or we end up catching the ball on the downward arc, so we haven't quite hit the low point of the swing arc yet, catching it thin, and it goes sculling across the green, and I'm sure you've all done that. So it's important to get that stance width right. Easiest way to do that is when we set ourselves up, we go into position approximately 2 club head widths between our left and our right foot address. Okay, this is going to get us a stable yet mobile base, so I can turn around. Okay, if you're one of these players that gets too wide, you're going to find that you are lacking the ability to rotate. So again, there's a lot of the body kind of tilting and falling back around. So in order to be mobile yet stable, we want approximately 2 club head widths apart. It's going to be the appropriate way to address the golf ball with your stance width. So in addition to getting the stance width correct, we have to ensure we get our ball position correct. Now, this is vital to being able to control the flight of the shot. And again, vast majority of players make one massive mistake with their setup regarding ball position that ends up causing more harm than it does good to the swing. So when it comes to ball position, one of the most common mistakes I see players make is they put the golf ball too far back in the stance. And the reason why we do this is in an effort to gain control. When you've started catching some fat duff chip shots, and we've all done it, we move the golf ball back because our brain says the further back we move it, the easier it is to get the club on the ball. If I can hit the golf before I hit the ground, I'm going to chip well. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work out that way. What we end up seeing is as the golf ball goes back in the stance, our subconscious, our golfing smarts still want to reorientate that loft, okay? If we were to do nothing and change nothing, my 56 degrees is going to come through like a 7-iron, and we know that we're not going to hit the intended outcome. We visualize the outcome and the shot we want to hit. By putting the golf ball back there, we find a way to try to get the club back behind the golf ball and get some loft back on it. And again, that either leads to you hitting the club into the ground far too early, or again, we just catch it thin and it sculls across the green. It's going to seem counterintuitive, but if you're looking to chip better around the green side and you want better contact, start off with having the golf ball in the middle of the stance or straight down the line of your sternum. From here, you'll see that the club can make good contact with the ground time and time again. I've used an example of digging that. You can see where that strike point is. So I'm going to catch the golf ball well before that club digs into the ground. And that's with having it in the middle of the stance. The further back we try to put it, the worse our outcome is going to be. So it's really vitally important that we get the golf ball positioned into the middle of the stance. If you do that, you're going to find it a lot easier to produce a smooth transition and have a nice clean contact. And then the final, I suppose, mistake we see when it comes to setup is hand position. Now, players get this wrong all the time. And again, it kind of stems from poor stance width, poor ball position leads to poor hand position. So if we can eradicate get the appropriate stance and avoid having a bad stance, if we can get the golf ball in the correct spot at address, we're going to find it easy to get our hand position correct. But guys, what is the correct hand position? So a hand position, when we're setting up to the golf ball, assuming that we've got our 2 club head width stance, we've got a golf ball in line with the center of our stance, or in line with our sternum, we want our left hand to be positioned marginally ahead of the golf ball, okay? If we keep a nice neutral setup from here, I've got appropriate loft on the club, my arms are relaxed, and then from here I'm able to bring the club through quite comfortably. What we tend to see is we've gone narrow, we've gone back, and our hands get too far forward. That is a terrible spot to be hitting from. And again, I understand the concept as to why, but it's not going to help you. You're going to have to be brave. Okay, you're going to have to take a chance on this. And the best way to do that is just to go out to your short game area and just try to hit a few chip shots. You know, take 2 or 3 golf balls. You just empty those out here. Pick a spot around the green. Don't be afraid, you know, like if we start off in this position, we're just going to move it forward ever so slightly and work our way forward until hopefully we get to the centre line of the stance. We get ourselves into a nice setup position where we're able to, you know, even though that's a bit diggy and grainy here, and it is a little bit grainy here, it's not the best spot to be chipping from, we're still able to get the club to work through. So we just try to avoid digging this one in. So guys, when you're looking to improve your chipping, start with the basics. Get the appropriate stance width, 2 club head widths apart. Get your ball position more centralized down underneath the sternum. Try to ensure that at setup your hands are positioned where your left hand is just slightly ahead of the golf ball. Avoid having too much forward shuffling and too much hand press setup. And you're going to find it a lot easier to become consistent, whether it be with loft or whether it be by using a 7-iron around the green. As always guys, I appreciate you taking time to watch today's video, and I really do hope you found it helpful. And I do hope that these little chipping tips are helping you score better on the golf course. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. Those little thumbs up go a long way to helping the channel grow. If you have a question about today's video, or even maybe previous videos, or just a general golf question, please feel free to stick it in the comments. As you'll see in all my other videos, I always get back personally to any comments that are left on any of my videos. If you have a friend that's struggling with their chipping, maybe this is a great starting point for them, so please feel free to share the video with them. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe. When you do subscribe, make sure you hit that little bell. You get notified when my videos drop each and every week. Until next time guys, happy golfing.